All right, it's time for us to see what the headlines are saying in Nigerian newspapers today. I have a lot of them here, but to make sense of all of these and what they stand for and the deductions and permutation, I have Sesan Okunade here with me in the studio. Sesan, good morning.
Good morning, Mike, and thank God it's Friday.
Thank God it's Friday.
A time to go and rest, even though there is no fuel in town to move around.
Yeah, that's an issue. That's an issue. All right, I also have joining us on Zoom, Kehinde Nwandu. He's the CEO of CKN News. Chris, good morning.
Also a chartered mediator and conciliator. Mike, good morning.
Good morning. Good to see
Mike,
you.
Yes, nice being here. Mike, once I'm done now, I'm heading to Kumosho. You can see what I'm wearing. For the burial of for your state.
Oh,
Allah.
it is well.
So rest in peace.
Amen. Amen. All right, now let's start with Vanguard newspaper. Vanguard says, cocaine saga, NDLEA seeks court's order to extend Kyari's detention and wants to verify his estates in Lagos and Abuja. The PSC, that's Police Service Commission, suspends 2 Kyari's men, directs IGP to suspend 2 inspectors. Okay, all that on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. Then let's get to Daily Sun. Daily Sun says, heads roll in police over drug cartel scandal. PSC suspends Abba Kyari's men, Ubwa, and 2 others from service. Heads roll in police over drug cartel scandal. All right, from there, let's go to Nigerian Tribune. All right, Nigerian Tribune puts it as Kyari Gate. Police Commission suspends 2 indicted officers, directs IGP to suspend 2 others. All right, that's Nigerian Tribune. Let's go to Daily Trust now. That talks about something else. APC convention is the focus here, and it says Buhari in tight corner over chairmanship zoning. Governors, others await president's return from Brussels tomorrow. I am in the race. Senator Abdullahi Adamu is saying this, okay? And you have on the front page there the picture of the president and other heads at the EU-AU summit in Brussels, Belgium. Okay, that's a Daily Trust. This Nigeria is next, and he says APC National Convention, that's the focus. Confusion over zoning of party offices. PGF divided into 4 camps, representing that SGF tasks a party faithful on unity. All right, so let's move to Daily Independent. APC may postpone national convention by 2 weeks. Governors disagree with Buhari's consensus candidate. All right, that's Daily Independent. The Nation newspaper is next, and it says PDP governors Ghana Party fails to break zoning deadlock. Okay, don't divide us, says Wiki. UK envoy, we have interest in 2023 elections. Okay, we have interest in 2023 election. Okay, that's the Nation newspaper. Let's go to Blueprint. Blueprint says Kano APC Congress fallout. Ganduje floors Shekarau at appeal court, takes over party. The governor woos Shekarau faction on peace cooperation. That's a Blueprint newspaper. And now let's go to the leadership. The leadership says INEC may shift 2023 polls if PMB signs electoral bill after Tuesday. Provision in new electoral bill requires 360 days notice before polls. No electoral act, no election timetable, commission insists. Right, that's in the leadership newspaper. Daily Times is next, and it says attackers of policemen, ethnic minorities won't go unpunished. President Buhari saying this. It says that killings in the name of rituals, political agitation, tribal hatred, not in keeping with tenets of our religions, civilized cultures. That's Daily Independent. Daily Times rather. All right, News Direct is next. Road intervention. That's what the focus is here. NATO, Nupeng, PTD suspend proposed industrial action as NNPC intervenes. Parties pledge to ensure nationwide availability of petroleum products. That's News Direct. The Punch newspaper is next, and it says, federal government PDP clash as the economy grows by 3.4%, highest in 7 years. Okay, and the quotes here, the PDP is quoted as saying, this is the voodoo economics of Buhari. When you talk of economic growth, it must have a direct impact on the lives of the people. That's what PDP has said. Then there's a reply from Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, as put here, we have an opposition that doesn't want to hear anything good about the country and this administration, right? That's the back and forth there on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Now let's go to national economy. National economy says how Nigeria's GDP grew faster than projected in 1 year. Grew by 3.4% in 2021, strongest since 2014. That's what the national economy is saying, right? Business Day is next, and it says Nigeria's shrinking economy records highest growth under Buhari. Okay, and the growth is put in parentheses there, for emphasis. Nigeria's shrinking economy records highest growth under Buhari. Okay, and from there, let's go to This Day newspaper. Is the last one we're seeing now. 365 days to presidential election. The aspirants are emerging. And federal government moves to meet ASU's demand, constitutes white paper committee. Okay, that's what This Day is saying. And you can see faces of a lot of persons there who have at one point or the other have shown interest, and others are saying they are showing interest here and there. Some of those who have declared so far. Right, from there, let's, all right, Sesan, this issue of GDP growing by 3.4%. Well, those in the economy, directly like you, I wonder how you all measure this. Maybe there are ways of measuring it differently, because when we look at other indices, we're talking about, corruption perception and all of those things, human capital development, all those indices. It seems Nigeria doesn't seem to be faring well in those areas. Yeah,
there are so many things that surround the issue of GDP that may not be too obvious to an average Nigerian. Okay. If you look at it, despite the challenges that we are faced with, even with COVID, you discover that the fintech has actually bring to bear some of the gains which COVID threw to us. The telecoms also have so much, even on their part, to contribute on this part. And when you put together the two sides of the coin that makes the GDP indices to work, you discover that we fare better. But the question is, how impactful is that GDP
So this is a measure of how many more companies are making more money, are expanding, and all of that.
Their territory, their coverage, But when you look in terms of the inflation rate, the food inflation itself, an average Nigerian will tell you that issues get worsened than what we had in the last 6-7 years.
Okay.
And that's why we look at it deeply. Economic-wise, are not too, the parameters used in measuring some of these things are really not too known or, being well understood by an average person. Yeah. But what an average Nigerian wants to see is that, is my life moving better than what is it?
Exactly.
Against saying that the GDP is much more better.
Let's leave that and go into the main topic that we are like us to look at. Now, Kehinde Nwandu, let me start with you on this. Now, we have the stories on the front pages of several newspapers here, the scandal, the drug, the allegations, all of the issues between the NDLEA, Nigeria police, cocaine issues, Abba Kyari, and all of that. Now, I know you've read so much about what's going on. You've seen a lot of pictures, a lot of videos, you know, and so on. I wonder what is going through your mind when you see all of these things. Let me start from there.
One thing, Mike, in the face of the law, let us even start with the detention of Abba Kyari and some of his alleged accomplices. By the rest of the law and by our law book, Abba Kyari and all those that are detained cannot be detained more than 24 or 48 hours. That's what the Constitution says. So if the NDLEA is going to detain them for more days, then they have to go to court to get a court permission to do that. Else, ordinarily, detaining them for more than 48 hours may be against the Constitution. So, but if they are going into investigation and still haven't gotten all the necessary information they needed to prosecute that case, so all they need to do now is they should, as quickly as possible, go to any of the courts in Abuja and get that permission from the court so that they can detain them for more days in order to. I'm just saying from the part of the law, that is what the law says.
In the eyes of the law, exactly.
In the eyes of the law, I'm sure Sesan is smiling there.
It's okay. Well,
yes. Then to the main issue at stake.
All right.
Mike, for me now.
All right, Chris. Let me put you on hold a little bit. Sorry. Let me put you on hold a little bit. We have some. We'll just go on a short break and then we come back for you to make your point. Stay with us on TVC Breakfast. All right, you're watching TVC Breakfast, and this morning we're looking at the headlines across newspapers. Before me here, just a plethora of some of the newspapers we have in Nigeria. We're looking at headlines, really interesting ones for that matter. And I have in the studio Sesan Okunade. He is one of our analysts on a Friday like this, and we also have Kehinde Nwandu on Zoom joining us. We started looking at some of these things before we went on a break. So, Chris, you were making a point. You said that in the eyes of the law, that Abba Kyari is still very innocent, and in fact, until it is proven by a law court that he is involved in any of those. Otherwise, he's still innocent. You were making that point, and in fact, Sesan was smiling in the studio when you were making that point. So let's allow you to finish up.
Yes, fine. For me, Mike, as I said, the issue for me now is no longer whether Abba Kyari is guilty or not guilty, whether he was involved with hush puppy or not hush puppy, or the case of the issue of drugs. That will be determined by the court when he's charged, and it's the court that will determine whether he was guilty or not guilty. But the problem for me now is that it is so clear that even if Abba Kyari is cleared of some of these charges, the career of that young man has practically come to an end. There is no way I can see Abba Kyari going back to the Nigerian police to continue his job as a policeman, because now reputation is at play. It is what we call in law, that's what we call morality and law. It's between morality and law now. How can Abba Kyari, in his true sense of it, be able to go back to his job and be doing what he has been doing? And that, to me, is the tragedy of all this issue, as it were. And the problem there also is that I've said it time and time again that it is high time we start building institutions rather than individuals. When we continue to build individuals, then it becomes a problem. The police, as an organization, is totally enmeshed. It is just because of the act of one of the officers. Everybody's talking about Abba Kyari, but there's no way you talk about Abba Kyari without talking. You put Nigerian police, a policeman, a police officers. And that is where I think that the police itself should also look inward and look at its check and balances, where he can be able to have his own internal mechanism to be able to check the act of his officers and some of the things they do. But as I always said, Abba Kyari will be charged to court, and I hope that it will not take so long, just like the issue of hush puppy allegations. Don't forget that the Police Service Commission has given the IGP 2 weeks to return a report on the investigation carried out by the panel. The first report that was submitted by the panel, that headed by a DIG, Ebunike, or I can't remember his full name now, was rejected by PSC. So that means that Abba Kyari has two weighty, and what also paid me a bit is that a high court of that magnitude, how could it get involved and even got himself engaged to the extent that he was even captured on camera? Because Mike, in law, evidence is key in every case. You know, I always say time and time again on this program. In law, the court and the judge will only base his judgment based on the evidence before him. And if it's proved that he had enough evidence, then that's better. The NDLEA has come out to show some of these evidences and the rest of them. I think whatever is left should be left for the court to now determine. But it's quite unfortunate that a super cop like Abba Kyari is going down this way after he has achieved so much in the Nigerian police in the past 20 years.
But Chris, you were the one who said he is still innocent. So how would you be disappointed that he's going down? Who knows he's going down?
No, Mike, as I said there's a difference. There's a long time distinction between morality and law.
All right.
I'm talking morally. I'm talking in terms of morality. And I'm not talking law.
Oh, okay.
I said morality.
Okay, yes. But let's wait to see. Let's wait to see how these things pan out.
It is for the court to decide whether he's guilty or not.
Okay.
It might even be all we care.
All right. Let's wait to see how these things pan out, because at the end of the day, if in the eyes of the law, if he is declared innocent and acquitted, maybe the love for him can even grow further than or beyond where it is right now. Nobody knows. So let's wait until that time. Now, Sesan, he talked about the issue of building institutions and not building individuals. Now, there are some arguments or school of thought that said for you to even have strong institutions, you need strong persons to hold those strong institutions firm, develop them for a period of time, and then before they can run, as the case may be. What do you make of this?
Practically, you're right. We don't build institutions in the air. It is individuals that will definitely put together the right policies to make sure that some of the policies that are actually put on paper are properly followed, implemented, and you now see such being entrenched to be like a culture. See, when you talk about system, it's more or less, this is, okay, when we look at the way things are here, why are you not putting on native like myself? It is a culture that if you must present as, you know, a presenter, you must be corporately dressed. And that is what you have in the policy of the organization. The management sticks to it, and those are being followed. So you don't say, build institution. Who builds the institution is individual. But what have we found out? Greed, selfishness, I and I alone has been the major problem, because we have lost value. Situation where we don't bring the morals, the value. So you saw when my friend was talking about morality and law. So we know what we call moral. Even before the law, can we do what is morally justifiable? That people can say, no, it's sin to be an honest man. Not that even before we even test him, we can see that from his nature. Now put him in place to see some of the things that are into, can he key into it? So before you can have the right institution or system, you must have the right set of people that have the right value. That is very key. The major problem we've seen in this nation is that we've lost value. Morals has gone into extinction. And we must go back to the grassroots. Those days while you are in school, I don't think they study moral instruction. I'm sure you studied it while we're in school. This is a subject.
Of course.
You do be a religious study, you do moral instruction. They teach you the basic things you need to do.
At our days, we have a day, every Friday is moral instruction day.
So, where do we still have that now? No. That is why you can see a young man at age 17 thinking that he must do rituals to have money. At age 17 those days, what we think of is, how do we gain admission? If you have not gained one, how do we go? If I'm not going to go to school, how do I learn a trade? But now reverse is the case, because we celebrate people that goes about with money, and those that have values, those that have the right attitude to things, will bring them down. So we must go back to basics. Give room for more values. People that have value, let's promote them. They are the people that will entrench the system that we want in place. And on this issue of saga, I don't just know, my lawyer friend is very much present here. How I wish there is, I want this issue of cocaine saga and all this one that we are doing locally. Is it possible we first have the test of the extradition? Let him first go to US. Give them, answer their own question. Once he's exonerated there, let him come back home and play the home league. Let him play away first,
all right,
and come back and play the home match.
Oh, okay, that's another question. Now, Chris, just in 1 minute, there is also the school of thought that said, well, now he has cases to answer back home. That case has to be thrashed out first before the consideration of whether he's going to be extradited to the United States or not. How is this going to impact all of that from your perspective?
Mike, in my local dialect in Ogo, mistake. That's what there's something we say. And it's no marama or nama.
Okay.
Meaning that charity begins at home.
Okay.
So yes. So I think in this case also, that's what happens. If there's going to be, if Abba Kyari is going to be tried for certain infractions, it's definitely that we will go to take care of the local infractions before we can start talking about sending him away to America and rest of. Don't forget that the issue of extradition is just not. There are so many processes. There's international laws guiding that and the rest of them. And also forget that investigation is ongoing on that aspect too. It's just quite unfortunate that we have these two challenges as it comes to Abba Kyari. And that is why I said that the issue of the case concerning him, issue of cocaine with NDLEA and rest of will be disposed of as quickly as possible by the court. There we cannot look at it. Also, don't forget that the AGF came out to make a certain statement a few days ago on the issue of extradition. But for me, as I said, the fact still remains that we have to continue to build institutions. Yes, I agree that it's also human beings that build institutions and rest of them. But if you have instances where somebody, you don't build somebody to a capacity that it feels that he has become over and above everybody, and
all right,
the issue of balances the problem, then it's an issue for
okay.
And I hope that we'll just be able to get over this as quickly as possible.
All right. Thank you. We have to leave you here now. Thank you very much, Chris Kehinde Nwandu, for your time on the program. I like the adage. I wish I could speak Igbo very well so I can charity. Very good.
When we don't pick anything, you pick.
Yeah, I pick Marama from there. So, Sesan Okunade, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much,
Mike,
for having me.
Thank you. And let the weekend begin for both of you.